What is good, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the Ring the Bell Philly Show. I'm Chris C. Francesco, Jason Kent, and somehow I can't even begin to
I'm
understand.
back.
I looked out my window. There's not many stars, so there was nothing aligned to have Johnny Mac actually be part of a show before 2024. But John, he's in here. Everybody, he's doing this from you all the way from Washington D.C. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm here recruiting Montana, but it didn't go too well.
Right, because you're in the wrong city.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Jason, what's going on, man? How are you?
Yeah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, you know?
Yeah, it definitely is. All right. So we are here to talk a little bit about what's been going on or lack thereof. And I have a feeling there's going to be a little bit of a debate here tonight. Even though Jason and I talked over some of it, and he kind of convinced me with some things. However, fundamentally, there's still some things that bother me about what we're going to talk about. However, this is a baseball show first and foremost, so let's kind of just talk about that massive elephant in the room. Juan Soto goes to the New York Yankees for damn near nothing after, talking to Jay regarding who the prospects were and then looking up and kind of analyzing each player on my own as well. I'm going to start with you, John, and I'm going to go up to Jay to close out the whole Juan Soto thing. Dude, you have a guy who is 25 years old. He's as good as people say he is. He's the third time. He's on his third team already. This is probably going to be maybe the last team he goes to. I assume the Yankees will not let this guy go. But what did you think, man? Basically, a bag of warm-up baseballs for Juan Soto.
Yeah, I looked at the deal and I'm just like, wow. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, the Phillies could have offered way more. And
Yeah.
So much better talent they could have offered. And I told my buddies years ago, my one friend's a Nationals fan, I'm like, dude, he's going to look great in pinstripes one day. I'm like, it's going to happen. Like, that's where he's going. Like, it just was like, for some reason, he just it looked like he was going to be there. And I'm not surprised. I mean, I don't want to see him there. I'd never want to see the Yankees get anybody. I'm tired of that organization just getting everything they've ever wanted for with their 27 world championships.
Yep.
So it hurts because now that lineup even with Verdugo, that lineup looks really, really good. If Stan and Judge can stay healthy, and then if Volpe's back comes around, he's already a Gold Glove. I mean, that's just wow. It's
and
wow.
Dominguez, who will most likely eventually become their everyday center fielder.
Yeah, he's hurt right now, so that's like, I'm sitting there. I'm like thinking, I'm like, where the hell is that guy going to play? I mean, they're loaded out there. I'm like, and I'm like, do you move Judge to first base? I'm like, Rizzo's still there. Like, what are they going to do? It's going to be interesting to see what they do. I mean, they still need pitching, obviously, and they just gave up their top pitching prospects for Soto. But it really bugs me that I'm sitting here. I'm like, why weren't the Phillies in on this? Even though like some people will argue like we shouldn't have done it, but I mean, we could have did it. We could have gave him a much better offer. Why weren't they on it? He's friends with Turner. He knows Harper. I mean, it was there, but I guess the Phillies looked at it like they're not looking at a 1-year deal because his agent's already said that at the end of the season, no matter what, he's not signing an extension and he's going to become a free agent. So,
and that's a big deal. That's a big red light. If you're the Phillies, though, you're in a team that's in a window to win now in the next couple of years. If he's legitimately going to test free agency, there's no point to trade a bunch of guys for one season. I know Jason disagrees because he doesn't think like a fan. He thinks like a GM, which is good, but mostly bad. I don't think you can sit there and tell your fan base, we're going to trade away our top arms that we've,
they didn't trade away top anything. They gave away the best player they gave away was a middle relief bullpen guy.
But that's the Yankees, not the Phillies.
I understand, but that's the best player they gave away. So when you look at it, if I'm the Phillies,
best proven player, I would say the best proven player they've given away because the other guys aren't proven players at all.
No, agreed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the point. So if I'm the Phillies, like I want him. People when they come here, they're not leaving. JT signed the extension. Yeah. Trey came here. Bryce, they're all signing. Casty, Schwarber. If you get him in this locker room, I think that's still a huge advantage. And if you're telling me you have to give up, one of your top 100, like you're not giving up Painter, of course, but if you're saying Abel gets,
I mean, all of our prospects are better besides Miller are better than everything that the Yankees given up.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like if you give me Soto I'm okay with signing him for a year, getting him for the 1 year in hopes of the locker room building on him and him saying, okay, I'm, and the Phillies I still think would.
And you're right. Like they're I think the Phillies get them, they're the favorite to win the World Series next year. And that's
for sure. Hands down.
He's a guy I've been championing. Like I know you've been hating on me and hating on him, but he's a guy I've been championing for. I think him in this lineup would make such a huge difference. I would have been okay. That's the one thing I was furious about, that they didn't make a shot or didn't, I don't know if they did and they just didn't get get enough offer, but they 100% I feel like could have given up any but Painter to try to go get Soto.
Soto's
he instantly makes this team.
He's going to win the MVP next year. He's going to hit 45. He's going to hit 45 per month. He's going to hit 45.
I will say this, Jay and John, and Jay, you and I spoke about this yesterday. If you're the Yankees, and we'll talk about this for one more minute, and then we'll get into Philly stuff. If you're the Yankees, why aren't you just trying to move Rizzo and just get Aaron Judge to first base as soon as possible? To put Aaron Judge in center field.
I will say this because
that's a problem.
I've thought about it, and I know you're big on Harper playing first base to save his career, but I've been thinking about it, and I'm going to look at it in terms of other sports. Along with, I think some guys are just naturally going to get injured no matter where they play.
Yeah, right.
And I think Harper's one of those guys. I think he's still going to get injured at first base. I think no matter where you put Judge, he's going to get injured. It's
terrible take Tuesday today.
Stanton DHs, and he's injured all the time. So I just think it's certain guys are going to get injured no matter what. But you look at guys like LeBron James, who's doing things that we've never seen at the age of 39, 40 years old. He's done things we've never seen playing a much more – it's not – not much more violent, but it's more violent than –
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, you know what I mean? He played forever, and he had one major injury. It's because he got tackled the wrong way. It wasn't his fault because, it just happened. And they played forever. So I'm like, maybe he's just a guy who's going to get injured, because I'm just looking at most guys once they get to the age. I still haven't seen a guy really like a hitter-wise in baseball, no matter where they play. Once they got to around 40 years old, it kind of just, it's over. Even when they get to like the late 30s, it's kind of over. David Ortiz had that amazing year at age, 39, 40 years old? Yeah. That's rare. Poole still was productive, but he wasn't near the same guy he was at 31, like where Harper's
at right now. So you think it's abnormal for like Barry Bonds to have a 500 on base percentage at 41?
That's a little difference when you inject things into your ass.
Well, allegedly. Let's say allegedly, because we're not a podcast that throws accusations out there, my friend.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what Barry Bonds did; he still would have been a Hall of Famer no matter what he did, anyways. But that did help him last as much longer.
I can't wait till Bryce Harper plays 162 games the next 5 seasons, and we can come back and just smack you in the face.
That'd be great. I'd welcome
that.
I'd welcome that slap instead. I'd welcome it, but
it's Thursday, so you can say Terrible Thursday.
No, because it doesn't have the same ring. Terrible Take Thursday doesn't have the same ring.
It doesn't have the same ring.
It's terrible.
Okay, so let's kind of move on to what we're here for. Let's talk about the Phillies. And my main thing I wanted to really talk about is, the winter meetings have come and gone. The big, there really wasn't a whole lot done, period, except for the Juan Soto trade. I'm assuming we're going to find out very soon where Ohtani is going to decide to go. I do believe once the Ohtani, once the Ohtani ball drops, I think there's going to be a trickle-down effect, and teams are going to start going after these guys and taking care of business. I think Snell will then go. Hader might be I think it's just going to be that trickle down effect, because then everyone's going to know, where they're going to allocate their money to, especially the teams that are in the running for Ohtani. And if they don't get him, because again, only one team can get the guy. And one of the teams that are in the mix to get Shohei Ohtani are the Atlanta Braves, who for some reason feel like they're not good enough. They just want to go out and get more guys. And from what we've been reading and seeing is the Atlanta Braves are pretty much in on a lot of guys. And the Phillies have been very persistent and consistent with what they've been saying in terms of, look, we really like the roster of where it's at. We just heard Topper kind of say the same thing. I'm going to get the Topper's quotes in a little bit. I know Johnny Mack is probably greatly looking forward to that. And my problem here is and this is where we're going to probably start getting into a debate, because GM Jason's going to really get into things here. Why is it the Phillies, who finished 16 games back from the division, feel like it's okay to go into next year already conceding to another team within your division? Why is it okay that the Phillies aren't out there trying? Again, we don't know what they're going to do. I can only base it off of today, Thursday, December 7th, that the Phillies are content with relying on other teams in the National League to lose so they can be a wild card team. Why is it at a point now you're spending the 5th, 6th highest payroll in baseball, maybe even the top 4 or 5 right now, and you're still 16 games worse than the Atlanta Braves? But to Jason, to his point, that's not the goal. The goal isn't to be division winners because of what we've seen. Regardless, why are we going to already go into a season thinking, well, who cares? We can't compete with this team anyway. It's a loser mentality.
The second half of baseball, we competed. We did.
Do you want to hear the normal thing? You want to hear the Phillies idea? We beat the Braves twice back-to-back years in the postseason, 3-1. That's what the Phillies think. They don't care who they get. They think they own.
No, but
they don't think they have to get better. They don't think they have to get better. They think they just missed. They just think they just missed it this year. They played a bad series. They'll be back next year. That's the thing. They think their lineup's good enough. They think it's good enough, and it's not. Every team's going to get better. I mean, I think it's a great lineup, but they think it's good. It is fine.
There's nothing wrong with this lineup. You give me the second half of the baseball, they were the second, third best team in baseball. Don't give me it's a bad team.
Who's
outside? Who's been signed yet? Right now is the big name. So we're talking about it. Nobody's really.
But they're not in on anybody. The Yankees. That's my issue.
That's the thing. They're not in on anyone.
But if they were in on right now, who do I want to pay? Bellinger? No. Do I want Snell? No. Would I like the Yamamoto kid? Yes. Sure, but Phillies never signed in that market. They never signed in the market. And it's a good enough team. They're good.
If it's a good enough team, then how come we haven't had a parade since 2008?
They haven't been good till the last 2 years.
But okay, so the last 2 years, I still haven't gone to a parade.
But only 2 teams
I've been let
win.
down 2 years in a row.
They're the hottest team to win.
Last year, let down, and they looked like they were going to be the best team in the playoffs this year, and they let us down again 2 years in a row.
And I get this,
because they're not good enough. They're just not. They're not good enough to win it yet.
And you're right, Jay, and I agree with you. The second half, they were the best team in baseball, but we're deleting an entire first half of Major League Baseball season. Like what?
But I also think too, the Phillies didn't make. That's the issue. The issue is the Phillies didn't make the moves in the second half. When you look at the teams that made it and won the World Series, and the team that made the World Series, both made big moves for their teams at the trade deadline.
And you mentioned
to do that. So
and you
that's
mentioned
the
this
issue.
this week. You mentioned this week because they do have 4 very good prospects, and I think they're all I think they're all going to be great players. I really do. I love this kid Miller. I think Miller's going to be a Nolan Arenado type baseball player or Austin Riley type player. He's going to be really good at third base. My issue is you did say this week that Dombrowski loves to sell the farm. He has yet to sell the farm.
That's going to happen this year. I think it's going to be this year. This midseason, he's going to go.
Right, he does. Wherever he's been, he's sold the farm. He has yet to do anything like remotely close to doing any of that. So I'm just wondering what is up his sleeve that's going to happen. That's going to make this team that is a favorite to win the World Series. Not a team that's just going to make the wild card and make a playoff run like they've been doing. I want a team that's going to win the division, and they are going to be the odds-on dominant team where everybody's saying Phillies. I want.
It's
that.
about how you're playing in October. Like the division is nice.
You're
is
right.
It nice to throw the flag up there? Yes. The division isn't my goal at this point. You've been to a World Series and 1 or 2 games away, game away. You want a world. I want that parade. I don't care about the division. I don't care about making a splash in the offseason. I want them to use those prospects. Go get me, Shane Bieber at the deadline. Go get me, Burns.
But I don't want those guys at the deadline. I don't want them at the deadline.
That's when I want them. Because that's when they're blowing out. Why? I'm okay with going to get the deadline.
Because the problem with the Phillies have been a great second half team the past 2 years. So why would I want them at the deadline? I want players who can get them winning the division in the beginning of the year. That
was enough for Chris to say we're about to sign this dude to a 7-year deal. Chris is about to sign this guy.
He's like throwing them in.
Look, I don't have to defend myself because I said it right here on the air. So it's anybody can go back and look at what I said.
I want them now. I don't want the Phillies like they get caught in that April and May slump where they're just not as good of a team, and that's why they lost the division this year. That's why they lost the division the year before.
I agree, but
because
we're just going to be a different team. Harper's healthy. Trey Turner is not going to slump like he did.
Jay, what's stopping the Phillies from going after Burns or Bieber right now? What's stopping them?
Nothing.
Because I don't know if how serious right now, because Milwaukee is a team that knows they can make a run. How serious is Milwaukee really wanting to do that? And Cleveland, they did just sign Ramirez to that big contract. So I do think they want to go into the season with their aces, at the front of the helmet and see where things lie. I don't think they want to move.
I will say this:
if
somehow you're going after Bieber, I'm also making the call for Ramirez at third base. I would love
no.
I mean, I'm asking if we can get them both in the deal.
I'd rather get Class A. Give me Bieber and Class A.
I mean, I'd take all three of them. I'll give it. They can have all 30 top prospects for all three of them. I mean, those guys are
MLB the show, bro.
It's not MLB, but I'm saying if we can get I would love a guy like Ramirez as well in that deal. But I mean, it's a far reach. But he's a guy you can put him at second base. You can move Turner to shortstop. You can DH Boom or something.
Let's
a lot of things you can do with.
Let's get Ohtani too at that point, and
I would love Ohtani.
Let's sign Hader. Maybe get Garrett Cole. Get Judge.
So. That's a lot of money. So we just turned budgets off. We went into the settings of Major League Baseball.
Who wants to get
we turned budgets off.
Team. He wants to get all the players and bring them over.
I'm not saying they're going to get him, but I'm like, at least make that call. Be like, hey, is Ramirez?
Yeah, they're going to laugh in your face, and now they're going to jack the price up on Bieber and give him to somebody else for cheaper.
So this is where we're at. So it's clear they're not pursuing Ohtani. They never were. They were never talking to the Padres about Juan Soto. The Angels.
I have a question for you though, Chris.
But why? I don't know why. Why aren't you in there? Like, it doesn't matter if you don't think you have a shot and you don't want to. Just why aren't you at least putting it in there? Like, why?
Chris,
what?
The free agents.
Yeah.
Realistically, who do you want them to get? Like, and we're talking about like this really off season. Besides the Japanese pitchers, I don't know if there's any free agent that you're looking at. It's like, okay, that's who I want to go after. Or that's at least a top end free agent. I don't think there's any of them that I really want to invest in either, though, at this point.
No, I agree. I really wanted them to go after both Japanese pitchers. I agree.
Those guys are who I'd go after.
Like, when it went the offseason, without a doubt, the number one priority to me would have been to do whatever it took to get Yamamoto in here. And that was,
give him 7 years, whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah. And, I know he's going to make over $200 million, and I get it. But, I mean, it's rare that you get a Japanese pitcher at 25 years old.
Who might be the best Japanese pitcher we've ever seen, the way he looks.
For sure. He could be. You never know. And then, and then there's the other Japanese pitcher as well, who's that next tier right under Yamamoto. That's where I wanted the Phillies to go. Other than that, Jay, and you're right in terms of players that we know of. I mean, Hader was the only one, but then I kind of settled back a little bit on Hader because I know that he wants Edwin Diaz money. So and his, if you look at Hader's, he threw a lot more. He threw a lot more balls this season. His strikeouts went down, his velocity's down. What are you talking about?
Like they do the deal with the Mets did with Edwin Diaz, where he's only making $15 a year, but you pay it out years down the line.
Yeah, I mean that's maybe I'm not sure. Hader's, I don't know what he's looking for, but I don't think the Phillies have ever offered anything like that before.
That's like it's just like everybody like you bring it up like where you think it's different with the Phillies organization. It's not. It's still the same thing. The way I'm looking at it right now, it's like. They sent a mirage of spending a lot of money for a couple of years, and now they're sitting there content. We're not going to spend any more money. That's where it seems like we're back to normal. That's what it seems like. We're back to normal.
But even if it's not spending, it's also making moves. So let's say again.
At the fourth, we still have one of the highest payrolls in baseball, and you can't. Yes, Chris says they're rich, they're billionaires. It's still a business, and you can't buy everyone. You just can't. And at this point, I'm content going into the season where it was kind of a fluke away. A bat got cold away from getting back to the World Series. This is a team that's good enough as currently constructed to hang with any team in baseball. And I do believe and we'll see. I do believe they're going to make moves during the season before the trade deadline to bolster this team, because he has the weapons. Dombrowski finally built it up. They have 4 or 5 guys down there, and you still have a plethora. You can still move Rojas. You can still move Marsh in trades to help yourself. So I still think this team, as currently constructed, is going to be good enough, but this isn't going to be the team we see in October. It's going to be different because trades will be made.
So for me, my issue is, and what it's been since the beginning, is the outfield situation. And, we've known that for a while that Mike Trout was never going to get traded. Todd Zalecki reported the Phillies had 0 plans to pursue him.
He's never leaving LA, and the story is saying he's never going to leave there. His favorite player was Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter played for the Yankees for 20 plus years. That's what Trout's going to do. He's never leaving. So drop it. I hope all Phillies fans realize he's never leaving Los Angeles.
If there's there is not a single person.
Isn't he the one that championed for it? Didn't he say, let's go get Trout?
Who?
John. I thought John was the one that wanted to bring him here.
No,
the whole time.
John, there is not a person that you will encounter in your life that wants Mike Trout less than me. So
you're the biggest Trout hater ever. So
I am. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You appreciate his greatness, but you hate him. So
I appreciate his greatness. I think the Angels are the ones that ruined him, not Mike Trout.
I think he's honored. I think he's happy with the team who drafted him and brought him.
Oh, he's happy making a lot of money and never winning. He's very happy with that, and that's okay. Hey, look, it's okay. Look, at the end of the day,
he is winning. Guys.
Jason, you're right. At the end of the day, and Jason's argued with this with me before, because when it fits certain things, then team matters. But at the end of the day, a Hall of Fame in baseball is an individual career. As an individual, he will make $500 million, and he will be in the Hall of Fame. And
he's one of the greatest players we've ever seen.
He was, not now.
No, but he ranks up in one of the greatest.
He's still pretty good when he's healthy.
Agreed. I agree.
When he's healthy, he's probably a top 5 player.
When you're looking at this team going into the offseason, essentially the Phillies would like to add an outfielder, to complement Castellanos, Marsh, Rojas, and Pache. Just reading those names gives me agita. And that, this is my issue. I
just can't believe Pache's still in that league.
Dombrowski is content with that starting outfield. And I'm not happy with Rojas. I understand he's your 9-hole hitter, but I still think he needs more. He needs more time. And that's okay. He's young. He's 22 years old.
I think he just needs more time to learn to be a better hitter. And he's still solid. He can do it in the regular season, but he's not a playoff ready hitter. That's his issue.
And I don't understand the infatuation with Pache moving forward. I get it. I mean, Jake Cave is still on this team, much to the chagrin of John.
What do you mean, Larry Bonds of AAA?
Yeah, well, that's where he'll probably end up. So then you have Casty, who's immovable, and you have Brandon Marsh, who we traded for thinking he was a Gold Glove center fielder. He literally played his way out of center field for Rojas to make the team. This is where I almost do kind of wish Cody Bellinger was an option, because that completely locks in your center fielder, who's a absolute monster defensively. Do I think he'd make too much money? Yeah, but still in his prime. He's still young enough. He'd be, I think, I mean, the only problem is he'd be another left-handed bat.
Yeah, I don't in his prime in about 3 years, though.
He had a really good year last year, so I would stop that.
It's the whole point is I have a big problem with this outfield.
I think there's a lot more cheaper options out there.
I mean, that's the thing. Who would you?
I mean, Teoscar Hernandez, to name one. I think he's a solid player.
I'm just letting you know, Teoscar Hernandez sucks in right field and left field.
Jesse Winker, I think, would be a good option.
It's another one.
I'm gonna punch you in the nuts next time I see you.
Randall Grichuk.
Grichuk, I've actually wanted them to go after him for 2 years now.
Pollock's older, but I mean he
solid. Can't stay healthy.
He's off the bench though. You're not relying on him to be a starter.
Yeah.
Michael Brantley.
A little older, you're right, but
he can hit.
He can hit. So, are you both comfortable with Castellanos, Rojas, and Marsh if the season started tomorrow?
Yes.
I don't love it, but I know that we're going to have a Gold Glove center fielder, Gold Glove winner in center field every single day. He's going to
win a Gold Glove in left field too. I think Marsh can do that.
Yeah, I agree with you there too. If you're gonna have a Gold Glove outfield, I mean, and Castellanos, he's not.
And you championed Castellanos for Gold Glove right field, so that's a Gold Glove outfield right there.
That. I was just trying to say he didn't have an error.
He didn't have an error, and if you think
but
about it,
he did have the least amount of chances of assists.
Hey, that's a Gold Glove outfield right there, baby.
Field, the only thing Castellanos has to worry about is what is it? I gotta think about this. If I'm in right field. Everything to your left. He only has to worry about things to his left.
Correct. That's it. That is correct. I want to give you time to analyze that, John.
I was going to turn around like I was actually playing right field. Like I was going to turn around and think about it.
But it's the same. It's this.
That's funny. So look, the Phillies.
I realized that after the first.
At the end of the day, the Phillies do believe that they can win a World Series with what they've got, maybe a little more, depending on what we got. Coming to us. We don't know what Dombrowski's going to do. Jason and I, you and I talked about how we think that maybe this was planned based on who was available this offseason. Is Dombrowski's going to not go out and overspend for a free agent, and he's going to utilize the trade market.
They're not great outside of Ohtani, so that's like stat-wise.
Like the only thing you really this team, only thing they could really use is bullpen, but that's every year. But I do think Orion, you're going to see him up to start the season, so that's going to be good. Get a year under his belt.
22 going to get better. I think he's going to get better.
Yeah, and I still think Dominguez. I still trust him, and I'd like to see Alvarado if he could do what he did. I think the bullpen is okay. I'd like to see another arm. You'd like to see Hader, but outside of that, I think your team offensively, your starting 8 is set, and I'm 100% okay with that. Forget Rojas batted .309 going into the postseason.
Yes.
So it's not like he was a bad bat before the postseason. It's just something happened.
He's just got to learn how to bunt.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he's doing that all off season. He's just sitting there, pitching machine, bunt. But it's let me what Jay said about arms. It seems like Dombrowski's MO is he's going to find a guy who had a down year last year pitching wise, and that's who he's going to bring in as the closer. So
would you go after Dylan Cease then?
Yes, I mean, but are they going to trade for him? Probably not. I mean, it's just even the Braves are in on him. The Braves are in every single guy that's somehow becomes besides Soto. They weren't in on Soto because I just don't think they wanted Soto. But every other guy who becomes available, they're in on it. Why? Even if you're not going to get them, just give the fans some hope. Think you're doing something because they're doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I don't want false hope. Don't pander to me. No, I don't want to pander.
Well, at the end of the day, you can say, well, they were willing to give up more than we were willing to give up. They, that's what you say at the end of the day. We weren't willing to give up all these guys. We want to save our farm as well. That's what you say.
But when they say that, and then you see the trade with the Yankees, you're like, yeah, they lied to me and they pandered to me and they kicked me in the nuts. And I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, but did they say that? I mean, the Yankees gave all their top prospects. They were their top prospect besides.
He was their fifth prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Who? Thorne?
Yeah, he was their fifth prospect.
Correct.
So, I don't want to pander to. I want we knew Trey. I want them to go this offseason. There's nobody this offseason that I truly believe that we could pay that money to. There's nobody I want to invest in this team to be here. I'd much rather go into this season understanding that, Chris said it before, I do believe last year Painter was going to play a little, but I think Painter was going to be that chip last year in the playoffs or the trade deadline.
I thought Painter was going to be the rookie of the year type player.
I thought Painter was going to get traded. I thought they were going to use him as a trade chip.
Yes, he was definitely.
I think that blew up the plans for last year.
Yeah, we agree. Yeah. Jason and I agree, John, that if all things were equal and all things were healthy, Painter's on a different team right now.
And I disagree because I don't think you can give a guy I don't think when he was healthy, I don't think you could give up a guy like Painter. I think Painter's a guy who.
Well, the Phillies thought that about Draybeck too a long time ago.
That was the kid that traded JT for too. The big.
he got hurt. They all got
but he's been hurt since he got traded there. That's I don't care. To me, prospects aren't, and like how many prospects truly turn into Kershaw like that? Like there's not many of them. So I'm trading.
I'm usually not a guy who's high on prospects, but Painter, I was one of them. I don't know about Abel, I don't know about Crawford, but Miller and Painter, I think, are actually going to be really good professional baseball players. And they're if Painter was healthy last year and pitched last year for the Phillies, I truly believe he would have been the ace of this ball club this year. I think that he is that good. The way he moved up, and I mean, how productive he was in the minor leagues. I mean, he won Pitcher of the Year out of all the minor league systems. I mean, that's remarkable. All of it. Every single one. AAA, AA.
All of it.
And I mean, the guy's 6'7". I mean,
he's a big boy, man. Yeah,
he throws 100 miles an hour. He was young. I mean, how great would it have been? When did the Phillies ever have a 19-year-old on their opening day roster? When?
Yeah.
That's how he was. He was that guy that we had, and it sucks that he got injured. And hopefully they sit him out this year. He's going to be out all this year. Next year he probably doesn't even come till, I wouldn't even say July. Like, let him get his thing. Let him feel it all back out down the minors before you even bring him up.
Trade him for an actual Major League Baseball player.
I mean, I'll take it.
How about that?
Yeah, I mean, I can.
Let's go get Shane Bieber and Jose Ramirez and Emmanuel Clase on this team, and
we're gonna have a $1 billion payroll. But then again, budgets were turned off. So
I'm not as high on Bieber as you are. I mean, I'd rather have Corbin Burns than Bieber, but
I'll take either one of them.
Yeah, I'll take either one. All right. So before we get into Topper's comments, which are very interesting, I want to get your. It's gonna literally spark both of you to turn your cameras off and leave. But before that, we got to pay some bills. And the sponsor of the show, and we thank them for being part of the family, is our friends over at Manscaped. And they're here to wish you a Merry Ballsmas. The holidays are approaching, but what if I told you all that the celebrations are starting early this year? It turns out that the perfect gift does exist. And who else to bring it down your chimney than the leaders in below the waist grooming? That's right, Manscaped. Keep calm and let your balls jingle this season with Manscaped's brand new Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, featuring the new Lawnmower 5.0. Watch all your wishes and mistletoe kisses come true. Look, it looked nice when you're going naughty by going to manscaped.com right now using our code BASEBALL20 for 20% off plus free shipping worldwide. Unwrap the gift of smoothness this season with Manscaped. Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate bundle for the man who deserves it all. Included in this special sack, get it, sack, is the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose trimmer, Manscaped's liquid formulations, and two free gifts. Starting with Santa's number one helper, we have the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. This 5th generation trimmer features 2 next-gen blade heads, a standard trimmer blade for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go for that smooth landing finish wherever your heart desires. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra body trimmer and the Weed Whacker 2.0 nose and ear trimmer feature proprietary advanced skin-safe technology to protect your delicate presence. Plus, both are waterproof, so there's no issue cleaning out the snow out of your driveway. Now that you've groomed the candy cane, it's time to make sure you don't smell like a reindeer with the Crop Soother aftershave lotion and Crop Preserver anti-shave ball deodorant. Once they touch your sack, you'll never go back. The gift of Manscaped does not stop there, though. This bundle comes with 2 free gifts. Like I said earlier, Manscaped's Boxers 2.0 premium underwear and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. Look, I wear Manscaped's Boxers every day, and I'm not joking. If this wasn't a family-friendly show, I'd get up and probably model them for you. I'm not going to do that here on live. But, maybe I'll send the boys, some photos of these Manscaped Boxers. Trust me, they're absolutely tremendous. Once you're done shaping up, it's only right that you put your pants presents in the best wrapping at all. And that's those Boxers 2.0. I'm telling you, just go check them out. They are seriously the best Boxers I've ever worn. Not even joking. Get 20% off free shipping with our code BASEBALL20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off of free shipping at manscaped.com using our code BASEBALL20. Manscaped, get your jingle balls ready for the holidays. All right. So, and again, if you guys are watching on the air, you can always look in the bottom of our scroll here. And you'll see.
Well, where was You got to cover my face next time, okay?
Why?
Yeah, dude, because that was
It's
just too
tough.
funny.
It was rough, bro.
It's tough, dude.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, because what? You laughing? I can't.
It's
Oh no,
hysterical.
you need to go back and rewatch. It's great. It's a great ad read.
Oh,
But like
can't
for
wait.
real though, like, dude, does it cut my jingle balls? That's all I want to know. Like,
They do. Yo, those Manscaped boxers are the greatest boxers of all time.
They are.
They're so smooth. They're amazing. You know?
See, it's like
they really are fantastic. Like that's not
really,
even because they're our sponsor, bro. They're so great.
They are.
Like
they are.
I remember I texted Chris the first time he gave us the stuff. I was like, yo, I legit went in the shower and shaved, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
No nicks or break. Like it's amazing.
Yep, it is awesome. Harry the Henderson uses it. That's Jason, so we're good. So here is what Topper said, or Robert, as he's earned from John.
And he's getting an extension.
Yes, he did sign an extension for another additional year, so through 2025. And
yeah, welcome back, dude. We got Dave Roberts and Aaron Boone over here.
So I think Topper might actually last longer than Aaron Boone. We'll see. I think he's actually should have lasted longer than Aaron Boone at this point.
But Aaron Boone should have been 5 years ago. So
I agree. Yeah. So here's what Topper said just the other day. He said, "I think we're going to get a better Bryson Stott. We're going to get a better Alec Boehm. The younger guys are going to, I think, improve a little bit. You've got a full year of Trey Turner, which we did last year. That's and then you're going to have Bryce for the whole season, hopefully." He said, "I really like our roster. I felt like we had a great chance at winning a World Series, and it hurts me that we didn't. It hurts me more than it did the year before when we got to the World Series and didn't win, because I just thought we were that good. We were so good. So I love the roster. I love the makeup of the club and the talent of our club, because we're right there." And then here's where it gets kind of where I almost want to quit the show. The question, of course, was brought to him about who the leadoff hitter could be in 2024. Thompson revealed that he is already thinking about his ideal 2024 lineup, but right now it does sound like it could be Kyle Schwarber and Turner again in that 1 and 2 spot. Direct quote here from the manager: "The one thing that you cannot argue is that when Schwarber's at the top of the lineup, we won a lot of baseball games." I don't know how to really get away from that, but I am thinking through a lot of different things. John, what do you get out of that quote? I'll tell you what
I'll get what I like with that. Kyle Schwarber wants to be the leadoff hitter, and nobody wants to listen to me that he wants to be the leadoff hitter, and that's the issue. He wants to bat there. And I don't understand why people want to argue with me and say that, oh, he's going to say this in the locker room, that he will bat anywhere in the lineup. No, he wants to bat there. That's the issue. He does not want the pressure of being a 4-hole hitter with guys on base where he has to produce runs. Because any other guy who's going to hit 45 home runs a year and have 100 runs at the leadoff spot, besides Acuna, when you have a guy like Matt Olson and Austin Riley there, he should be the 4-hole hitter. He should be able to put. And how many RBIs would he have? He would be
130.
Yeah, at the 4-hole hitter.
We talked about that.
Pressure. He does not want that pressure. I think he's comfortable in that leadoff spot where he can walk more. He can be more selective on his pitches, and I think ultimately he's actually a better hitter. I believe he's a better hitter at the leadoff spot than he would be at 4, where he should be at 4, because I believe he can hit home runs like that. But I think he's more comfortable where at the 4-hole hitter he can't be as selective in his pitch.
So you believe Kyle Schwarber is calling the shots?
I believe to be leadoff. I think he wants to be the leadoff hitter. I think if he gets moved down, there's a problem. That's why when they do move him out of the leadoff spot, that he automatically ends up getting back in the leadoff spot, because I think he just wants to be there. I think that's where he feels comfortable. I think he personally feels comfortable in the leadoff spot, and that's when he talks to Topper, he's like, I feel comfortable there. I like being there, and that's why Topper continues to put him there, because he's such a great locker room presence. He doesn't want to get on his bad side. He doesn't want to see what happens. Maybe he's a great locker room presence because he's where he wants to be, and that's why he's so much a leader. What happens? You put him in that 4-hole and he's struggling, and he's not the same person as he was in the locker room before. I think that's what Robert is scared of. I think that's what it is. I think it's. I don't know what else. Why wouldn't you want a guy who's going to hit 45 home runs and drive in 100 RBIs, and he's going to walk at the 4-hole spot too? Why wouldn't you want that guy batting 4? Where you get a guy like Stott, you get Harper, you get Turner, whoever's batting 2, maybe Bone's batting 2, not Turner. Why wouldn't you want that guy there? at the 4-hole position. It makes no sense. It really doesn't. And he'll never give an explanation. There's no guy in the media who will ask him that question because as soon as you get on one of the case, they'll stop talking to you. They won't let you ask questions in there. So it's just it's something going on internally that we do not know, and I think it's that Schwarber wants to be a leadoff hitter.
Jay, your thoughts on both Topper's quotes and the accusations stemming from one John McElroy?
This dude's just throwing accusations around today, like it's nothing. Like, we're not that type of podcast here. So Schwarber, we apologize from the bottom of our hearts. I believe you're a great locker room guy, and you're right I want to defend him here because that was some slander right there, and I'm not going to stand for slander on this podcast.
I don't think he's a bad guy. Like, I enjoy batting certain places in the lineup when I played. Like, I think
sounds like you think he's a terrible person.
I mean, look at Soto. Soto got unhappy he wasn't batting 3 for the Padres. I'm sure that's one of the reasons why he wanted out of San Diego.
Well, he was many other reasons. 210 at the time.
I think he just wanted Schwarber at the top of the lineup. I think it's as simple as that. I do think he knows how big of a deal it is. So I think Topper, the comment, is probably having a little fun. I do think that Topper is going to have a different lineup come this season. I 100% believe that. And like Chris says, if he doesn't, I get he's got the deal. I really question the ability if he doesn't have a different lineup this season. But I think that comment's 100% trolling the fans, knowing they're going to eat that up. Yes.
I don't think this guy knows the definition.
He is 100%. He's sitting in that office. He's sitting in that office watching the Ring the Bell podcast right now. He's like, this dude, Johnny Mac, is so wound up. That's why I did it. And there's probably 100,000 more just like Johnny Mac all wound up on that comment. And he already knows that Stotter's batting.
I'm calling him the WIP tomorrow.
I bet you will. I bet you will.
And that's the type of WIP. Yeah, that's what that type is.
They'll cut you off if you're not talking about their third string cornerback for the Eagles. So here's how I view it. And what really told me everything I needed to know was that last sentence when he said, I don't know how to get away from it, but I am thinking through a lot of different things. You know what that is? That's gatekeeping. That's you're basically telling the fans in that first 2 sentences what you really want to do and what you're planning on doing. But then you ease into it at the end to appease people like us and say, I'm thinking through a lot of different lineups right now. Yeah, in his head right now, and I agree with Jason, in Topper's head right now, opening day is Schwarber Turner. And I don't think it's going to change. He even said it last year, guys. He said it. The only thing that gets Schwarber out of leadoff is if he gets hurt.
I honestly think he moves on this year.
And I hate to root for injuries. I mean, I kind of would like him to get hurt to see somebody else.
Oh God, we can't afford.
I don't know.
That.
No, I don't want him to.
The views of Johnny Mac do not reflect those views of the other host of the Ring the Bell podcast.
His opinions are his own.
They are
his opinions are his own.
I
don't want him to. I would like to see somebody in a long-term role in the leadoff spot, to see what would happen. Maybe he's right. Maybe the Phillies just win with him, and for some reason they win with him in the leadoff spot, and he needs to stay there. But we really don't have a sample size of we don't have a sample size to see what they're going to do.
On a shirt, baby.
Yes.
We don't. We can make that a new shirt. John's opinions are his own because they are. I own them all. But I just. You can't
if you guys sometime next year want to watch Kyle Schwarber get hurt like John does, head over to SeatGeek.com right now and use our code ONTHEBUMP for $20 off your very first ticket purchase. Thank you so much.
I'll tell you a funny story. I'm at the game, dude. I had a few drinks before I walked to the stadium, but
you
don't say. You're a functioning alcoholic who's doing a baseball podcast.
So I get to the stadium, and meanwhile, I should have it was the third inning by the time I got to the stadium. Maybe the second inning. But Schwarber comes up to the plate, and I'm like, this guy fucking sucks. I absolutely hate you. I'm screaming how much I hate Schwarber. And all of a sudden, a mother turns around and goes it's my daughter's favorite player. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Good, you're a terrible person. I'm so glad. You're a terrible person.
I mean, the girl was the girl had to be at least 18 years old. She wasn't she could. When she could have figured it out that he wasn't great, but
well,
Each and every one of them. He'll say mean things. He will not.
So, as we continue on here, because that's right, I do think that's what they're going to do, and I don't want it to happen. I will come on this show and I will scream in my Manscaped boxers if Kyle Schwarber is the leadoff hitter. Probably do something with my shirt off.
Nice.
So another thing that he talked about is the closer, because as of right now, the Phillies officially do not have one. Craig Kimbrell somehow finagled $13 million out of the Baltimore Orioles. So, and it's been already said that the Phillies are not pursuing Hader whatsoever because they believe they can handle late innings by choosing pitchers based on matchups like the last couple seasons. Thompson said we won a lot of games doing it that way, so that's what we're going to do. I'm comfortable with the way we do it. If we had a setup guy, that would be great, but I'm comfortable with what we have. Your guys' thoughts on that idea of not having a set setup guy, not having a set closer, which is kind of like what we've been seeing in baseball the past few years. I mean, gone are the days of guys with 50 to 60 plus saves. Where are you guys at with this kind of rotation of setup guys and closers?
That worked well against the Diamondbacks.
Worked great.
That's all I gotta say.
Craig Kimbrell worked great against the Diamondbacks. He was the reason we lost that series. Okay, nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I want to feel comfortable. I mean,
not Castellanos going 1 for 812.
Your negativity.
That's just a fact.
I just want to be comfortable going into later innings. And I know
for sure.
It's been for years, like where you're just not comfortable. Last year, I was very comfortable last year going into later innings, but I mean the last year I wasn't, like especially going into the postseason. I just want to be comfortable. And if you can get a guy like Hader,
they had one of the greatest postseason runs up until the first game of the NLCS. After that first game of the NLCS, they were the greatest. So let's pump the brakes there a little bit. I think they're still. I don't think I'd much rather them have Josh Hader or somebody coming in knowing. And I hope Topper realizes it this year. Don't play matchups. Give me if you want Kirk in that closer role, you put him there and leave him there. And then you put Sir Anthony in that the 8th, and you put Alvarado in the 7th.
I'm actually fine with this. I'm actually fine with like if there's a lot of lefties, you let Alvarado go in the 7th inning. I mean the 8th inning. If it's righty, let Dominguez go in. But I want to be comfortable in that. I want
those guys. I want those three at the back end, and I think Hoffman kind of earned a shot back there. So those are the dudes I want to see late in the game.
I would extend Hoffman.
So I think what we have is okay. I think Dominguez. Do you think he bounces back? I think it was just a bad year. I'm okay with what they have, but I don't like the fact that you don't have a set guy. I'd rather him have the order at that late end and give me somebody knowing that 9th inning is theirs every night.
Look,
it's
a comfortability thing. Like you want to be comfortable there.
To be fair, and this is a problem, that's the reason they signed Gregory Soto, was to be that shutdown late inning setup.
He had a bad year too. Maybe he was
a terrible pitcher before it. Like he had one okay year and he was trash before that, and they expected him to do what he did in his, in his best season. Like I thought that was they overreached there.
Yeah, I agree. So, and then he kind of touched on a couple other things regarding Christopher Sanchez, which I think we all agree might actually be their 3rd best pitcher in that rotation, given the fact that we know, unfortunately, still at this point, the limitations of Ranger Suarez, which is very frustrating.
Moves him to the bullpen and just make him
I agree.
It's something he's talked about, moving him to the closer role. Maybe he sees that he's just not that guy.
And T1,
bring somebody up.
Yeah, you bring him back
in there.
Mm-hmm.
You bring him back and forth all
Ranger
year long.
to closer role.
Maybe you call up McCary early on. He doesn't do too hot, or maybe he does great. Or then maybe you want to send him back down and let him get more work, and you bring up Abel and you let him work, or you do it vice versa, where you let them guys get some work, save their arms for later in the season where you're going to need them deeper in the year. But
I agree.
I mean, I really don't think they're pitching, and they need to make a move. I really do not trust this pitching staff. I mean, Wheeler, he's good. Nola, he's solid. That's all I give them.
That's a good
team. They do need another guy where we can just Ranger sometimes is great, sometimes is not. And Taiwan, he's great until June. So that's
The guy did not take his hoodie off the entire postseason, and they're trying to sell us on the fact that he's a good pitcher and that they believe in him.
No, he is. He is great from April to the end of June. He's a great April to June pitcher. After that, he sucks.
It was just I can't even believe they're going to keep him on that roster after literally not letting him even throw a bullpen.
You can't afford to cut him now.
He threw 1 inning in the postseason.
When?
I don't think he threw.
He threw 1 inning against the Braves in that 10-0 game. He came in and threw 1 inning or something like that.
Did he really?
Yeah. It was so forgettable because the game was over. We were already cheering, like ready to go for the podcast. That like we didn't care who was pitching at that point.
I'm gonna have to look that up because I did not.
He threw 1 inning.
No, his only ever postseason pitching game was 2017.
Really? I thought he threw 1 inning this year in the postseason.
No, he did not.
Oh, wow.
No, yeah,
it was somebody else threw one. It was somebody else threw 1 inning. I know who. I forget who. It was.
I thought it was him.
No, it was Lorenzen.
Lorenzen threw.
He was the guy they brought in that one game, and he.
Right.
And
we gave up our only Asian player that we had for him too, who could have helped us get Yakamoto.
That's incredible. I can't believe $72 million, and we can't even trust him to throw a warm-up pitch in the postseason.
We can't even let him get a meaningless 10-0 game against the Braves inning. Like that's remarkable.
Yeah,
that's absolutely remarkable. And I can't believe he hasn't requested a trade.
Why? He's cashing in to suck. Like why would you ever want to leave this situation?
I guess
you're in a team that potentially a World Series team.
I guess they're willing to pay you to do
I've
nothing.
never seen $72 million, so I wouldn't know how it feels. But I'll tell you what, as a broke guy, I am that I would love to play baseball, like no matter what the situation is.
Right.
I would be upset. So maybe I'm not.
As a broke guy, I'd love to just collect $72 million to do nothing. You know, that sounds even better to me, bud.
Listen,
that sounds even better to me.
You're going to work 3 months a year. You're going to work April through June, and then you get to watch baseball making $72 million.
Sounds like a good gig to me.
Right?
I guess you're right. I mean,
so last thing, right before we get out of here, and I meant to ask this earlier, John, are you okay with your baseball team coming into 2024 already knowing that they can't beat the Atlanta Braves and be even competing for a division?
No, because I believe our team thinks they can beat the Atlanta Braves because they've won twice in the postseason.
I agree. I agree with that.
But I mean, it doesn't. You may have a different opinion on Kelenic than I do. I think Kelnic's a solid baseball player, and he's going to be good for
Kelenic is a very good first 50, 60 game player.
Yeah, I mean, that's better on the Phillies, and he's going to be better. I mean, who's he replacing? Ed Rosario?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He's replacing somebody that he's better at. But,
Kelenic
also has an injury issue.
They got better. The Phillies have yet to get better, and that's my issue. I don't care. I do think that right now the way it lines up, because they got rid of Soroka, so Soroka's gone. They think it's here enough. They got rid of Kyle Wright. So they got rid of some arms. So their pitching staff's not great. I still think the Phillies can beat them, but it's just discouraging to see that they're not trying to get better. And the Braves are trying to get better.
They are better. They can beat the Braves.
They can.
In the playoffs,
in the playoffs.
This is a 102-win baseball team right now.
You're reaching there because they do not have a 102-win pitching rotation. I'll tell you that.
That they definitely do not.
You don't need it. You don't need it.
Why?
With the way this offense will be this year,
with the way this offense streaks,
he's back. He's back on his Nola wave.
Dude,
he's
Nola might get another side. It might be Wheeler this year in the Cy Young prediction.
John, he is going to be juggling their Manscaped boys come spring training. Like,
it's a 102-win team right here, baby.
Dude, 110 wins, manager of the year. Aaron Nola, probably 26 wins.
Bohm's going to be the MVP. Bohm's going to hit 30 burger this year and bat 300.
I do think Bohm, we're going to get 25 fair months, and I think this year he's going to hit.
He's going to hit 100 RBI.
I think we're going to get a better Bohm. We're going to get a better Bohm. We're going to get a better Stott. I do agree with that. I think they're young players and they're going to be better. I didn't say cock. I said Stott.
I didn't say that either. That's not what I was going for.
This guy just wants to. But this team wins the division next year at 105 wins.
And I do think Turner's going to be like a 320 hitter. Like Turner's going to be really
320.
Yo, you just said I was juggling. This dude is
320.
Come on,
the
guy's a career 300 baseball player, and he's
not 320. That's a big difference.
I mean, he's hit 320 plus how many times? 4 or 5 times in his career. He's a demon. He's a demon.
I mean,
look, he's gonna be so much better.
Never had to bat behind the slowest player in baseball. Okay,
maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's why he didn't hit well. He's like, damn, I can't steal bases with that fat.
He can't even turn a single into a double. He can't turn a double into a triple because he's got a fat. In John's opinion, a fat piece.
105 win baseball team, ladies and gentlemen.
They are. This is a 105 win baseball team next year.
I
said we'll talk. Look, we'll talk about it when the season comes.
This dude just hit in the 80s.
I know what he said. Don't worry. He's going to get ousted by Dean when Dean predicts 74.
Dean will have him missing the playoffs.
They won 90 games and Harper was out for 30. So that gives me he's at least a 5 or 6 more player.
That's a 15. That's a 15
Harper
more.
Played a lot of games.
I think it's at least 7.
And they still listen. Harper played a lot of games the year before. Even in April, May, they still sucked. And then he got hurt, and they got hot when he was out. So I don't think Harper makes a goddamn difference whether he's
when Harper got back this year. They're the best team in baseball, bro. So Harper makes a difference.
Yeah, best team in the world when Harper was back.
He came back in May, so that's a lie. They sucked in May.
Your opinions are terrible take this week, okay?
They sucked in May. They were great. They were great from June on, though. I'll give them. They were great from June on, but May they did suck.
Ooh. When he first got back from not playing and not being able to do jack for like 3 months, bro.
He didn't.
John hates. This dude hates kids. He hates Bryce Harper.
He hates all
Kyle
your kids.
Schwarber.
He hates Bryce Harper.
This dude.
Phillies are going to win, 62 games.
No, 80 right now. They signed Yamamoto. I mean, that's that. I mean, I'm giving them at least like 6 more wins, 7 more wins.
I think as it stands right now, if you're asking me today, I think they're a 97 win team. That's where I'm at. And we'll see what happens for the rest of the season. 100 would be unreal. But it's going to be fun. We have a lot of the offseason to talk about. That's going to wrap us up here. Thank you so much to SeatGeek and to Manscaped for sponsoring the show. We really appreciate it. John said a lot of things that were probably sponsored by Manscaped. So, we'll keep that there. We got someone here who, Jason, do something with that face.
I'm back.
And hello, Anthony. How you doing, my man? Jason looks great tonight.
Brother.
Jason looks really good. He cleaned his house. Look how clean that looks, man. Everything's good.
He just told me he's a broke guy. Look at that house he has back there.
Well, that's why he's broke. Look at the house behind him.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
That's a great number. Grand piano cost right there, buddy. That's Elton John signed. He delivered it himself. Okay,
I bet he did.
He probably was on a few cocktails before he drove it over.
So, look, everybody. At Ring the Bell 856 on all your socials. If you guys are watching on YouTube, hit the like button, hit subscribe as well, share it with your friends and family. Again, we're going to be here all off season. We're just here really hoping for something to fall through with the Phillies. We're waiting to see the clock is ticking when it comes to Ohtani. Is that going to spark a lot of moves as just start rattling off? If the Phillies do anything, we will be here with an emergency show. I don't expect anything big from the Phils, but again, I just really hope we have a GM who's playing chess and not checkers. And we'll see what he's got planned for the rest of this offseason. Because look, I mean, it's December 7th. Spring training starts in like 2.5 months. We're not that far away from spring training. So we're almost there. All right. So I'm Christy Francesco. That's Jason Kent and Johnny Mack, and we'll catch you guys down the road. Again, we'll be here if anything happens. So stick with us. This is Ring the Bell, and we'll see you guys later. Have a great one. Bye-bye.